Have you ever noticed how two different people can face the exact same challenge, but one approaches it with this sense of dread, almost like the world's conspiring against them?
Oh, definitely. Well, the other person, they seem to meet it with, well, a strange mix of calm, maybe even a little excitement.
Exactly. Like they see a puzzle to solve where the first person just sees a massive brick wall.
Yeah.
And how often do we feel like we're just reacting, just bouncing off whatever life throws at us instead of truly choosing our path or shaping our own experience?
It's a really common feeling, isn't it? That sense of being at the mercy of, well, external events.
It is. But what if? What if one of the most powerful forces in our lives, something that genuinely shapes everything, from our mood day to day to our big long-term achievements, and crucially influences how we navigate all those challenges? What if that force is actually something entirely within our control?
Now, that's an interesting thought.
And look, this isn't about magical thinking or just, wishing things into existence. This is about practical, actionable insights for real personal growth. That's what we do here on A Better Version of Myself. Okay, let's unpack this then. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the incredible, truly transformative power of attitude. We're going to pull back the curtain a bit on how our internal state really dictates our external reality.
And what's truly compelling, and you see this echoed in, well, psychology and neuroscience research again and again, is how deeply our attitude is intertwined with, like, every single facet of our existence.
It's not superficial.
Not at all. It's woven right into the fabric of how we perceive things, how we react, and ultimately how we create our lives. So our mission today is to explore what attitude truly is. Move beyond just a surface level idea.
Right.
We want to grasp how it fundamentally shapes our destiny, and maybe most importantly, equip you with concrete strategies, things you can actually do to deliberately train yourself.
Train yourself.
Yeah, to cultivate a positive, resilient attitude, no matter what kind of challenges life presents. And for you, our listener, we've really dug into various insights, different frameworks, to bring you a deep dive that offers not just information, but hopefully some transformative understanding, something designed to resonate directly with your own journey toward becoming, well, a better version of yourself. So from what we've observed, looking at extensive research, but also various philosophical traditions, attitude is far more than just a fleeting emotion. It's not just the mood you happen to wake up with.
Yeah, okay.
It's essentially this deeply ingrained, often kind of subconscious lens, the lens through which you choose to view and interact with life.
Like your default settings.
Exactly. Think of it like your default operating system for reality. It's the persistent way you choose to interpret and respond to basically everything that comes your way.
Everything.
Yeah, unexpected events, challenging situations, how you interact with other people, even how you see yourself. And the really critical insight here is that it's not something that passively happens to you. Right.
It's an active, ongoing choice. And often, it's a choice we make without even realizing the massive impact it has.
That idea really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? If attitude isn't something that just happens to us, then where does it actually come from?
Yeah.
Are we just sort of born with a certain outlook, or is it something we build?
That's such a crucial question. And the answer is, well, it's profoundly empowering, actually, because it places the control squarely with you.
Okay.
Attitude is fundamentally created by your thoughts, plain and simple. And you, the individual, you possess the ultimate control over your thoughts.
We control our thoughts.
We do, which means you are essentially the architect of your own frame of mind. You decide whether your prevailing mindset leans positive or negative.
So if I want to feel better or get different results,
You have to actively think better. It's not about ignoring reality, not at all. It's about engaging with reality, but from a position of strength, of intentionality.
okay, but that sounds like it requires effort. It does. It requires a certain level of mental discipline, a conscious, consistent effort to steer your internal narrative away from that default negativity and towards, well, constructive possibility.
I've always been fascinated by the power of the mind. You hear things like mind over matter, you see incredible mental toughness in athletes. But how does that translate directly to, like, our day-to-day performance? I mean, our work, our relationships, creativity, even just our sense of well-being. How does our thinking directly impact how effective we are in all those areas?
Profoundly. Your mind is, without a doubt, your most important performance resource, period, across every single aspect of your life.
Really, more than skills or resources.
Think about it. The way you perceive and process events fundamentally shapes how you respond, what you do, what you don't do, and that consequently shapes your outcomes. So if your mind is cluttered with doubt, with negativity, your ability to perform at your best is going to be severely hampered. So a truly essential key to success, to well-being, and research backs this up consistently, is learning how to actively train your mind.
Train it.
Yes, and use it wisely. It's about consciously directing that immense internal power rather than just letting it run on autopilot, which, let's be honest, often defaults to less productive patterns.
That leads us perfectly into this framework I find really useful. It's remarkably simple, but it explains so much. Event plus response equals outcome. E plus R equals O.
It's brilliant in its simplicity, isn't it? It provides such a clear lens for understanding behavior and success.
It really does.
And what's particularly illuminating, I think, is how consistently successful people distinguish themselves. It's not by avoiding tough events because, let's face it, life happens to everyone.
Well, nobody gets a free pass.
Exactly. But they distinguish themselves by their ability to maintain a positive and proactive attitude in their response. Their R factor, if you will.
Their chosen response.
Yes, their chosen response is consistently guided by a positive, constructive mindset. And what that does is it allows them to focus all their mental energy on finding solutions, taking effective action, adapting.
Instead of getting bogged down.
Precisely. Instead of letting their minds get cluttered by pessimism, negativity, cynicism, all that stuff that just drains your energy and leads to inaction. They don't just react impulsively. They choose their response. And that choice is absolutely paramount. Maybe we should dig a bit deeper into what actually defines these two sort of fundamental attitudes. First, let's talk about what we generally see as a negative attitude.
Okay.
And this isn't just, an occasional bad mood. It's often the result of undisciplined, unchecked negative thinking that, well, over time becomes a habit.
A habit, like biting your nails.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, but a mental habit. This mindset tends to fixate on problems. It's like a spotlight gets stuck on the obstacle itself, making it almost impossible to see anything beyond it.
Is this you can't see solutions?
Exactly. That fixation effectively halts any real search for solutions or opportunities. And it's constantly fed by negative self-talk.
Yeah, inner critic.
That inner critic, exactly. Those internal stories we tell ourselves, filled with self-doubt, criticism, worst-case scenarios, and unfortunately it becomes a deeply ingrained habit, a default mode.
And that impacts more than just your mood, right?
Oh, absolutely. This habit impacts the individual, drains their physical and mental energy. It can even affect their physical health, and it impacts everyone around them, too.
Creates a ripple effect.
It really does. It can even become a self-fulfilling prophecy, creating this kind of doom loop where someone actually develops a negative attitude about the idea of improving their attitude.
Wow, that's a tough spot to be in.
It's a tough, self-imposed trap. But conversely, let's look at a positive attitude. Now, this is not about ignoring problems or being, irrationally cheerful all the time.
Pollyanna syndrome.
Right. It's not that. Instead, it's a deliberate, disciplined way of seeing and responding to life. It's really a form of mental toughness.
A conscious choice.
A conscious, intentional choice
Yeah.
that acknowledges reality fully, but refuses to be defined by its difficulties. It absolutely acknowledges the problems, but then immediately shifts focus.
To what?
To finding solutions.
Right.
To finding opportunities within the challenge. It asks, okay, this is hard, but what can I learn? What's the next productive step I can take?
So it's proactive.
Highly proactive.
Oh.
And just like its negative counterpart, a positive attitude also becomes a deeply ingrained habit, but it's one that propels you forward.
And the physical impact.
It impacts you physically by reducing stress, fostering resilience, and honestly, from countless observations and studies, it consistently outperforms a negative attitude in pretty much every scenario.
Like career relationships.
Career advancement, personal relationships, overall well-being, you name it. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, really understanding these fundamental distinctions, negative versus positive, that's the first absolutely crucial step.
It's knowing where you stand.
Exactly. Recognizing where you currently are, and more importantly, where you want to go. It's the essential starting line for any meaningful personal transformation.
Okay, so if our attitude is this fundamental, this central to our, let's say, internal operating system, what does this actually mean for our lives, the tangible stuff? How does this internal choice ripple outwards into our jobs, our families, our health, our overall happiness? This isn't just about feeling good, is it? It sounds like it's about actually building a life.
Oh, it's absolutely about building a life. From what we've seen in, say, leadership studies, organizational psychology, Attitude has a direct, profound impact on literally every area.
Area.
Think about it.
Yeah.
How you lead people, your attitude doesn't just set the tone, it becomes the culture of your team or your family.
Right.
It affects how you perform at work, whether you're selling something, serving customers, coming up with new ideas, working with colleagues.
How you communicate.
Your communication style, your approach to problems, even the very atmosphere you create in any environment, work, home, social settings. And crucially, it doesn't just influence, it actively molds both your success, the objective stuff,
Yeah.
and your happiness, the subjective experience.
They're linked.
Deeply intertwined, absolutely. And what's really illuminating here is a principle you see observed consistently across different fields. Other things being equal, the person with the best attitude will win.
You know what?
Well, not just like a competition. Winning in life, achieving your goals, building fulfilling relationships, maintaining your well-being. But what's even more compelling is that often things aren't equal, are they?
Definitely not.
Someone might have fewer resources, less experience, face huge obstacles.
Yeah.
But a positive attitude that often creates this undeniable advantage. It allows them to surpass expectations, to innovate, to find paths forward where other people only see dead ends.
It's a game changer.
It really is. It's a powerful differentiator that can truly level the playing field in surprising ways. And digging into, the psychology of human achievement, one of the most liberating truths we can really embrace is that our attitude, it's one of the very few things in life over which we have total, absolute control.
Total control. That sounds huge.
It is huge.
I'd-
External circumstances, unpredictable, challenging, sure. But your internal response, that is always yours to command. Throughout history, profound thinkers from all sorts of different backgrounds have observed this, that a human being can fundamentally alter their entire life just by altering their attitudes of mind.
It's not just a nice motivational quote then.
Not at all. This isn't some quick fix motivation. It's a disciplined, foundational, life-shaping power. And once you consciously harness it, it can profoundly transform your reality, your direction, your impact.
But let's be real here for a moment. It's not always easy, is it, to cultivate that positive attitude? Life throws some serious curveballs.
No, it's definitely not always easy.
And sometimes defaulting to negative thinking feels almost automatic, like a defense mechanism maybe? Or just the path of least resistance. What happens when we fall into that trap? What are the actual tangible costs of letting a negative outlook dominate our inner world?
That's a very important point to address, because the costs of a consistently negative outlook are far more profound than just, having a bad mood. They are genuinely destructive. We see this in countless psychological studies, individual stories.
Like what? What are the costs?
Well, firstly, it often leads to this pervasive feeling of helplessness. Negative thinking traps you in a victim mentality.
Feeling powerless.
Exactly, which is incredibly disempowering. You start to see external forces or other people as being in control of your world instead of recognizing your own agency.
Yeah.
And that perception leads directly to inaction. You feel like, well, what's the point in trying?
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a bit like that old proverb, about the lazy person who says, there's a lion outside. I can't possibly go out. I might get killed. They invent these huge external obstacles. But the real obstacle is internal. It prevents them from even attempting to engage. And beyond that, negative thinking leads to a significant lack of energy. It is physically, mentally, and emotionally draining.
That feeling of being wiped out.
Totally. If you've ever gone through sustained stress or sadness, you know that feeling of just being blah, wanting to just lie down, disengage. And there's science here too. Research in psychoneuroimmunology shows chronic negative thoughts can elevate cortisol, suppress your immune system, deplete your reserves.
Wow.
It literally saps your strength and focus. Makes every little daily task feel like climbing a mountain. It diminishes your overall vitality. And this mind-body connection, it's incredibly strong. It also contributes directly to physical and emotional suffering. Our brains actually have a negativity bias. They're kind of hardwired to pay more attention to threats.
So negative thoughts stick more?
They often claim more persistently than positive ones, yeah. So when you welcome negative thinking, it's like letting weeds take deep root in your mind and even in your body. Now, it's crucial we distinguish this from clinical depression. That's different.
Right.
But consistent negativity can certainly contribute to a general feeling of malaise, persistent sadness, chronic stress, and actual negative physiological changes. Things like reduced resilience to illness, increased inflammation, higher stress markers. It's not just a feeling. It has real biological consequences. Then there's the really insidious cost of missing opportunities. Think of it, people are naturally drawn to positive energy.
Right. Yeah, I want to be around upbeat people.
Exactly. And we tend to unconsciously avoid those who consistently complain, find fault, or express cynicism. So this means you might miss out on professional advancements because you're seen as difficult, or new projects, collaboration.
And you might not even know it.
That's the tragic part. The negative thinker is often completely unaware of what they're losing. They're blinded by their own outlook. They don't see the doors that never even opened for them because their energy actively repelled those chances. And finally, it severely limits relationships. We're social creatures. We thrive on connection. People just enjoy being around positive individuals. It's a fundamental human preference.
Makes sense.
But a chronic pessimist, someone who's always complaining, finding fault, griping, that becomes a lifestyle that pushes others away. It alienates friends. It can strain family ties. And again, the negative thinker often doesn't see this withdrawal happening. They end up in an increasingly isolated world of their own making, wondering why people seem distant. These costs are real, and they just compound over time.
Wow. So it's absolutely clear then, a negative attitude isn't just a fleeting bad mood. It's a profound self-saboteur that systematically undermines pretty much every corner of your existence, just diminishing your potential and your happiness.
That's right.
But what about the other side of that coin? What happens when we actively choose to flip that script? When we commit to cultivating a positive attitude, what kind of transformative power does that unleash?
Now that's where things get really exciting. Because when we make that conscious, disciplined choice to embrace a positive attitude, we unleash a power that reshapes our entire reality. It's almost like activating a positive, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. Explain that a bit.
Sure. It's the concept from sociology, basically saying that our initial perception of a situation, whether it's entirely accurate or not, can actually evoke behaviors in ourselves and in others that make that initial perception come true.
So thinking positively makes positive things happen.
In a way, yes. It's about actively influencing yourself and those around you in profoundly constructive ways. You shape your reality through the thoughts and beliefs you choose to foster and act upon. And one of the most powerful aspects of this is its role in creating a positive identity. I often think of this tale you hear among people who study human potential, about an architect overseeing the building of a huge cathedral centuries ago. A visitor comes by and asks 3 different stonemasons what they're doing.
Okay.
The first one grumbles, "I'm cutting stone for 10 shillings a day." The second sighs and says, "I'm putting in 10 hours trying to make ends meet." But the third one, he looks up, there's a glint in his eye, stands up straight, and says, "I'm helping Sir Christopher Wren build one of London's greatest cathedrals, a place that will inspire people for generations."
Wow. Big difference in perspective.
Huge difference. That story perfectly illustrates how your attitude defines your identity. Are you just cutting stone, just putting in hours, or are you helping build a masterpiece? You truly become what you believe you can be. Your attitude is the blueprint for that identity. And beyond identity, a positive attitude can lead to profoundly improving health and well-being. Research consistently shows this. A positive outlook leads to better stress management, better coping skills when things get tough.
Less stress is always good.
Definitely. It's also associated with a lower risk of depression, a stronger immune system, so you might get sick less often, and it's even been linked to a decreased risk of heart problems, lower blood pressure, and remarkably, even longer lifespans.
Longer lifespans.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Seriously. For instance, studies looking at grateful individuals, people who consistently notice and appreciate the positive things in their lives, they tend to experience better physical health outcomes, like a reduced risk of heart attacks, faster recovery from illness.
That's incredible.
It is. But it's vital here to clarify this is not toxic positivity.
Right, the fake cheerfulness.
Exactly. It's not about rejecting difficult emotions or pretending everything's perfect. It's about realistic optimism. Acknowledging the challenges, feeling the negative emotions when they come up, but then actively seeking solutions, learning from the difficulties, and embracing a balanced, hopeful perspective overall. It's about resilience, not delusion.
That distinction between realistic optimism and toxic positivity is so important. It actually reminds me of this inspiring story I think about sometimes. Imagine a Little League game, right? Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Your team is down 18-0.
Ouch. Looks hopeless.
Totally hopeless. But then the coach reminds the team, hey, we haven't batted yet. The score, the pressure, the time, that's all real. But the possibility of scoring, the possibility of trying, that's also real. It's that shift from focusing only on the huge deficit to recognizing the remaining opportunity, however small it seems.
That's a powerful image, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it illustrates the point perfectly. When you believe anything is possible, opportunities start to appear, almost out of thin air. Why?
Mm.
Because your mind is actively looking for them.
You see what you look for.
Precisely. As a profound thinker once noted, individuals often become what they believe themselves to be.
Mm.
If you fundamentally believe you can't do something, well, you'll likely prove yourself right. You won't try, or you'll give up easily. But if you hold the belief that you can, you'll almost certainly acquire the capacity to do it, even if you didn't have it at the start. Through learning, persistence, adapting,
Because you keep trying.
you keep trying. A positive attitude creates fertile ground for possibilities. It makes things achievable that might otherwise seem impossibly out of reach. It literally opens your mind to solutions and pathways a negative mind would just dismiss or overlook entirely. And this extends directly into winning friends and building networks. Countless sociological and psychological studies confirm this. Optimistic, positive people naturally attract supportive social networks.
Their energy's attractive.
It's infectious. It makes others want to collaborate, share ideas, connect, and this is absolutely vital for achieving goals and living a truly fulfilling life. We all need friends, associates, teammates, right?
Yeah.
A positive attitude doesn't just benefit you in isolation. It surrounds you with like-minded people who inspire you, encourage you, actively help you navigate both life's problems and your personal dreams. It amplifies your reach and your impact. So if we connect this back to the bigger picture, a positive attitude isn't just some nice to have.
It's fundamental.
It's a fundamental leverage point for transforming your life from the inside out. It creates this powerful ripple effect of positivity that benefits everyone around you, and most profoundly, yourself.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly compelling, truly. But let's get practical. For someone who feels, stuck in those well-worn negative patterns, someone who feels like they're fighting an uphill battle against their own thoughts, how do we actually do this? Is there like a secret manual somewhere? Is it just a switch we need to find and flip? Because honestly, for many people, changing deeply ingrained patterns feels like trying to climb Mount Everest in flip-flops.
That's a very practical and really important question. Because the honest answer is no, it's rarely easy, especially when you're starting out. From everything we've seen in, say, cognitive behavioral therapy, habit formation research, developing and sustaining a consistently positive attitude is absolutely a skill.
A skill like learning piano.
Exactly like learning an instrument or a sport. It's a highly disciplined skill that has to be practiced, learned, and continually refined. It is definitely not a quick fix or a switch you can just flip instantly.
Okay.
It's a deliberate, ongoing journey. It requires consistent effort, intentionality, and, frankly, a lot of self-compassion along the way. Think of it as building a mental muscle. It takes time and reps. Now, the core of this training, the real work, lies in consciously and proactively managing how you perceive and process events. Remember, we said thoughts create feelings.
Yeah.
So your thoughts are the architects of your feelings and, ultimately, your actions. You have to be extraordinarily deliberate about what thoughts you allow to take root and flourish inside your mind.
How?
Well, a key foundational element of this mental discipline is paying close attention to and actively managing your self-talk.
That internal chatter.
That constant internal dialogue, exactly. The silent conversation you have with yourself all day long, the words you use to interpret situations, to judge yourself, to predict outcomes. Those words carry immense power.
They really do.
They embed specific thoughts, and those thoughts directly create your feelings, which then drive your responses. Let me give you a quick illustration. Imagine someone with what we might call a default-driven negative mindset. Presented with a new, maybe unconventional idea, their immediate internal chatter might be, "Ooh, that's a stupid idea. It'll never work. We tried something like that before. It was a total disaster."
Heard that before.
Right. Notice the absolute judgmental language. Stupid, never, disaster. This immediately triggers feelings of skepticism, hopelessness, resistance. It effectively shuts down any real exploration.
Okay.
Now, contrast that with someone practicing a discipline-driven, positive mindset. Same situation, same idea. Their self-talk might sound more like, that's an idea. I'm not sure if it will work, and there might be challenges, yeah. But let's explore it further. Let's see what the possibilities are.
Big difference.
Huge difference in the language. The negative uses absolutes never, disaster. The positive uses open-ended words possible, explore, find out, maybe. Because attitude responds so immediately to the language we use internally, those positive, proactive words trigger positive, proactive feelings. They foster curiosity, a solution-oriented approach. And this shift in self-talk directly means you also have to master the art of managing your focus. When you hit a difficulty, you have this crucial choice, moment by moment.
What's the choice?
You can let your mind obsessively focus on the problem itself, engage in all that negative self-talk, pour your precious emotional energy into worrying, blaming, complaining.
A downward spiral.
Exactly. Or you can acknowledge the challenge fully. Discipline yourself to consciously shift your perspective, see the bigger picture, use productive solution-focused self-talk, and then focus your energy, emotional and mental, on finding a solution, adapting, or just enduring the challenge with resilience.
So it's not about ignoring the problem.
Not at all. That's so important. A positive attitude doesn't ignore problems or gloss over hard issues. Actually, quite the opposite. A truly positive, disciplined mind often sees the situation more accurately and thoroughly. Why? Because it doesn't get locked in on just the negativity.
It stays open.
It stays open. A negative attitude tends to be narrow, rigid. It stops searching once it finds evidence confirming what it already expects. See, I told you it wouldn't work. A positive attitude, though, gives greater perspective, more insight, more creativity, because it stays engaged in the search for solutions, for opportunities, for growth, even when things are tough.
Okay.
Which, raises that important question again. If changing our internal narrative is so powerful, how do we actively practice it day to day? Because from my observations and looking at highly successful, happy people, they consistently learn to take charge of what happens in their minds.
Okay, so we get it's a skill. We get why managing thoughts and focus is so critical. But for the listener thinking, all right, I want to start today, right now, what are some practical everyday steps? What does that mental discipline actually look like in tangible, actionable terms? How do we start small and build up?
Absolutely. Let's break down some actionable, time-tested strategies you can literally start implementing right away. Think of these as daily disciplines. 1.
Yeah.
Be self-aware. This is number 1, the absolute bedrock. Don't just let your attitude happen to you on autopilot. Actively pay attention. Notice your internal state throughout the day. When does your mood shift? When does negativity creep in? When do you drift into those unproductive thought loops? Catch it early.
Just noticing.
Just noticing, without judgment initially. 2. Refocus, reframe, respond. Okay, so you notice it. When you catch yourself getting impulsive, judgmental, negative, consciously take a beat. Pause. Don't just react. Then deliberately shift your perspective. Reframe the situation in a more constructive or empowering light before you respond, either internally with more thoughts or externally with words or actions. Ask yourself, okay, what's another way to look at this?
The reframe is key.
Crucial. 3, anticipate triggers. Get smart about yourself. Identify the specific situations, maybe particular people, or recurring events that reliably tend to knock you off your positive game. If you know Aunt Carol's complaining always gets you down, or that Monday morning meeting drains you, plan ahead. Develop a proactive strategy to maintain your composure and choose your response before you're in the thick of it. Preempt the negativity.
Like mental preparation.
Exactly. 4, master productive self-talk. This is arguably one of the most powerful disciplines we've talked about. Become truly skilled at managing your internal stories, your scripts. The language you use with yourself either helps you fly or holds you down. Remember, you talk to yourself more than anyone else on the planet. Make that conversation constructive, supportive, realistic, and focused on solutions. Challenge that inner critic relentlessly.
Be your own coach, not your own critic.
Beautifully put. 5, acknowledge and act immediately. When a problem or a setback hits, and they will acknowledge it fully, realistically. Don't stick your head in the sand. But then, immediately, consciously shift your focus. Move from dwelling in the problem space to identifying solutions and opportunities for action. Ask, okay, what's the very next step I can take, however small?
Keep moving forward.
Keep the momentum going, yes. 6, ruthlessly eliminate BCD. This is a big one. BCD stands for blaming, complaining, and defensiveness. Just observe, in yourself and others, how these 3 ingrained behaviors fundamentally sap energy, alienate people, and prevent any real progress or connection. Make a conscious commitment, a real decision, to cut them out of your daily interactions and your internal monologues. It takes incredible discipline, but wow, the payoff in energy and clarity is immense.
No more blame game.
No more blame game.
Right.
7, invest in yourself. Metaphorically speaking, turn off the TV, meaning stop consuming the endless drama of others' lives. Don't waste your precious time and mental energy on social media comparisons, gossip, trivial distractions. Instead, consciously redirect that valuable resource, your time, your focus into your own growth, your learning, your development, your well-being. Read that book, learn that skill, pursue that hobby that nourishes you.
Feed your own mind.
Feed your own mind. Invest in yourself. 8. Start your day intentionally. This can make a huge difference. Dedicate specific time each morning, even just 5 or 10 minutes, for reflection and preparation. This could be meditating, journaling, setting clear intentions for the day, or simply reviewing your priorities with a positive, proactive frame of mind. An intentional start can profoundly influence your entire day's trajectory.
Set the tone early.
Set the tone early, exactly. 9. Be patient and tough. Remember, building a winning attitude is a marathon, not a 100-meter dash. It's a process, like building any significant muscle. It takes time, consistent effort, and real mental toughness to override old, deeply wired negative patterns and forge new, healthier neural pathways. There will be setbacks. Expect them. View them as learning opportunities, feedback, not as failures that mean you should quit.
Progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection. Be persistent. 10. Keep perspective. Even when you're dealing with daily challenges, small frustrations, temporary setbacks, try to never lose sight of the bigger picture. Your long-term goals, your core values, what truly matters in the grand scheme of things. This helps prevent minor issues from becoming overwhelming and completely derailing your overall positive direction.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. Keep that larger context in mind. 11. Gratitude practice. Make this a non-negotiable habit. Regularly list things you are genuinely grateful for. This could be a mental list in the shower, writing in a journal, sharing with a partner, whatever works for you. From what we see consistently in positive psychology, this simple, consistent practice has profound measurable effects on well-being, mood, stress reduction, even physical health over time. It actively retrains your brain to scan for the positive.
Powerful stuff.
Incredibly powerful and simple to start. 12. Prioritize self-care. Lastly, but critically, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Ensure you get adequate sleep. It's foundational. Find moments to genuinely laugh, connect with people you care about, get some physical activity, and practice acceptance, recognizing situations for what they are, acknowledging your emotions without judgment, while still focusing your energy on the areas you can control. Taking care of your basic needs is not selfish. It's essential fuel for a positive attitude.
That's a great list. Very practical. Now, I've definitely noticed some specific ways negative thinking tends to show up. Those recurring patterns. It's like mental shortcuts straight to feeling bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Recognizing those patterns is a huge step towards breaking free. Some really common ones, often called cognitive distortions in psychology, include things like catastrophizing, immediately jumping to the absolute worst case scenario for everything.
Making mountains out of molehills.
Exactly. Or blaming, constantly pointing the finger at others or external circumstances, never taking ownership, making small problems huge, magnifying minor issues until they feel insurmountable. All or nothing thinking, where things are either perfect or a complete disaster, no gray areas allowed. And personalizing, taking everything as a personal attack, or being way too self-critical about things that aren't even your fault.
Yeah, I recognize some of those.
We all do sometimes. When you catch yourself doing any of these, see it as a flashing light, a signal, an opportunity to intervene and consciously redirect your thinking. So when those negative thoughts pop up, try actively engaging with them. Ask yourself these 3 simple but really effective questions. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind?
True, helpful, kind.
Yeah. These questions act like a filter, challenging the validity and the usefulness of that negative internal chatter. And to help you actively reframe, let's look at some common negative self-talk and practice shifting it. So instead of that limiting thought, I've never done this before, try reframing it as, okay, this is an exciting opportunity to learn something new, to expand my skills.
Changes the feeling immediately.
Right. Or if you think, oh man, this is too complicated, shift your perspective to, all right, how can I break this down? I'll tackle it in smaller steps, maybe try a different angle.
Proactive again.
Exactly. When that thought, I just don't have the resources, comes up, challenge it with, okay, necessity is the mother of invention. Let's get creative. What do I have? How can I find what I need? Or maybe find a totally different way to achieve this.
Resourcefulness.
Yes. If you catch yourself saying, there's just no way this will work, try reframing to, okay, I can explore different approaches, I can try to make it work, and I'll learn from each attempt, even if the first one doesn't fly.
Focus on trying.
Focus on the effort and learning. And if you feel that despairing thought, I'm just not going to get any better at this, respond with determination. Okay, I'll give it another try. I'll focus on making progress, not being perfect right away. I trust the process of improvement.
These reframes are so simple on the surface, but they totally change the energy around a situation. It really is amazing how a few carefully chosen words can shift your entire internal outlook and just open up possibilities where before you only saw dead ends. It really drives home that idea that we are the architects of our thoughts.
They absolutely can make a world of difference. And this is where the daily practice, the discipline comes in. And, from our experience in helping people make lasting changes, you often can't do this kind of deep work completely alone.
You need support.
Making significant positive changes, especially breaking those deeply ingrained negative patterns, it often really benefits from having a supportive network and some external accountability. I strongly suggest finding trusted people in your life, maybe a close friend, a mentor, a supportive family member, even a coach, and explicitly ask them.
Ask them what?
Ask them to provide honest but gentle feedback. When they observe you slipping into those negative attitudes or behaviors you're trying to change, that external perspective can be invaluable. It helps you recognize patterns you might be blind to yourself and helps you make those conscious adjustments more effectively. It's like having a kind mirror held up to your blind spots, allowing for real accelerated growth. Hashtag outro, okay.
Wow. Okay, this deep dive has truly laid bare the incredible truth, hasn't it? Our attitude is the ultimate foundational choice we make every single day, and it profoundly shapes literally everything: our sense of self, our physical health, our mental well-being, the quality of our relationships, the opportunities we see or miss. It's just a profound realization of our own agency.
Indeed. It really is a truth that empowers us completely, doesn't it? Your attitude, that chosen lens you look through. It can either lift your life to unimaginable new heights, becoming this powerful catalyst for your deepest dreams and aspirations, or it can act like a heavy anchor, a limiting factor, holding you captive in despair or regret or just stagnation. The power, as we've explored through all these insights, rests entirely, unapologetically with you.
When I think about the sheer unwavering power of attitude, this incredible historical example always comes to my mind. The truly indomitable Helen Keller.
Oh, what a story.
Born way back in 1880, she got an illness when she was just 19 months old that tragically left her deaf, mute, and blind. Now, for most people, that combination of challenges would seem like an unimaginable, isolating barrier to any kind of productive or joyful life.
Completely isolating.
Yet, with the incredible transformative help of her teacher, Anne Sullivan, Helen didn't just cope. She broke through that profound isolation. She didn't just survive, she absolutely thrived.
Astonishing.
She became a prolific author, a world-renowned speaker, a tireless advocate for countless causes, and she found profound happiness. She became a true American hero. She once said something so powerful, something like, "If happiness is to be measured by sight and sound, then I, who cannot hear or see, have every reason to sit in a corner and weep. But if I am happy in spite of my deprivations, then my testimony to the creed of optimism is worth hearing."
Wow.
Her extraordinary life just proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that our inner outlook, our attitude, can triumph over even the most challenging, seemingly insurmountable external circumstances.
Her story is such an enduring, truly inspiring testament to the human spirit's incredible capacity, the capacity to choose and the capacity to create its own reality through that choice. And ultimately, as Helen Keller's life shows, no one else can change your outlook for you. No teacher, no friend, no podcast host. No one can force you to adopt a different perspective. It is truly, fundamentally, a personal decision, a daily commitment, a profound act of self-authorship. So the question really remains for each of us listening: what will you choose to create with your attitude starting today?
Make that conscious, powerful choice. Choose to adopt and actively nurture a truly positive attitude. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for the incredible future that is waiting for you to create it. Let this deep dive be more than just interesting information. Let it be a catalyst. Let it be the first day of a beautiful new you on your ongoing journey to becoming a better version of myself. And if you found value in our deep dive today, please take just a moment to leave us a like. It really helps others find the show. And be sure to subscribe to A Better Version of Myself so you can continue exploring practical ways to profoundly transform your life with us.